who they took earlier. JB's going to be happy about this. 23, Minnesota Vikings, CJ Henderson, corner from Florida. This kid is a sticky corner. He will shadow you on all of your routes. He does get a little grabby here and there, but that's what Zimmer likes. Zimmer likes physical corners, and CJ Henderson, I feel like he could be the replacement for Xavier Rhodes, freeing up about $10 million in cap, which they need because they're projected almost negative $2 million for cap next year. Kansas City Chiefs get a biggie here. LaShawn McCoy, I believe, has his last year in his deal. The Williams guys are they're serviceable, but they're not proven in my opinion. Kansas City gets DeAndre Swift from Georgia here. Gets a weapon for Patrick Mahomes. Whoo! I feel like DeAndre Swift would be nasty in that offense. Have you watched DeAndre Swift at all, Jay?
I haven't really dug into the college tape yet. I'm kind of like this with my power rankings. It's hard for me to start doing this, and I understand why you do it. It's not doesn't bother me, but I have a hard time doing it because I don't know who's all declared for the underclassmen, and that changes a lot for me. So, and I just got so much other stuff going on when it comes to football.
I'll be the draft guy. I love being the draft guy.
Well, you're the
But
early draft guy. You know I nerd out when it comes that time, but I guess I'm really nerdy in this season right now.
but anyways, DeAndre Swift, damn good running back out of Georgia. He has really good vision. He lets his O line do the work for him, and he just waits for a lane to open and he goes. I feel like Kansas City's had a dinged up O line this year too, so they're going to get a lot of their better offensive linemen back next year from injury because I believe they lost two to injured reserve, and that would be huge for Swift coming there. 25 Miami Dolphins from Houston get a big, well, not, well, I'd say big, but he's 6'2", as a big play wide receiver, not a big wide receiver. Big play, Laviska Shenault Jr. out of Colorado. The guy is a rocket. Jay, literally, you put the football in his hands, it's like the spark to the end of the fuse, and a rocket just.
Okay,
What?
I gotta ask your questioning here now. This is Brian Flores down there. They have completely tore that team apart to get draft capital. Why in God's name, when you need everything, are you taking your very first?
It's not your first. It's their second draft pick. They already
No,
had one.
it's their first. It's their first draft pick. Like really, like for like
No, their first draft
of
pick
the.
is Jared Jedrick Wills, three picks earlier.
I know, but still, you like
That's not their first
no.
draft pick. It's their second draft
It's
pick.
their second draft pick, but it's their first draft of the rebuild, and
Yeah,
it's still a first round pick. You have to build the defensive line. You need inside linebackers, rushers. You need
dude. This
all the
year,
offensive linemen, and yet, so like taking a first round any point, even if it's your second pick, a wide receiver or a running back this year is a wasted pick
take it
unless
from
it's a
me
late
this
round
year.
guy.
Defensive lineman is strong, but the top guys are gonna go by at least 15 or 17. And the Dolphins picks they got from their teams from Pittsburgh and Houston are not, and I repeat, not going to be anywhere near that. They're not going to go anywhere near it. Derek Brown, Javon Kinlaw, those guys are not going to go there. I, I get what you're saying, but right now it's wide receiver, it's Tua offensive tackle. So one, it's their third pick in the first round. You had Tua earlier, so you just that's their QB they want for their franchise. Miami Dolphins pick Jedrick Wills from Alabama, who rarely gives up QB pressure and can play left or right tackle. They'll probably put him at left tackle. And then you got your left tackle, your QB, and then you pick up Laviska Shenault, who is another wide receiver you can pair up with Devontae Parker and Jakeem Grant. I'm just saying,
I'm
just
just
that's why I'm picking
I'm
offense here,
killing time here. No good edge rushers there to take. I'm just trying
dude.
to think of the
Edge
top
rushers are not
spots.
strong this year. If defense is a thing, it's more corners than anything. Corners and inside linebackers. Defensive line, it gets really weak after the top guys. It really does.
See, and I think this is where the underclassmen are going to change this draft right here. In
I mean,
that, in
I am
in
naming
that,
classmen. These aren't all seniors. These are juniors that declared already.
yeah, but I mean, there's juniors and stuff that haven't declared yet that I think will change. There's guys that are really good, like at the end of the year, that haven't declared yet that are going to end up deciding to go. That people probably thought they were going to stay or something. It's just the draft is interesting, man. I'm just
No,
spitballing here.
I
I'm
fully
trying
agree.
to.
I'm
I'm
just
just trying to
building an
ask you.
offense through the draft for them, and that's what they need. I mean, I understand they have Ryan Fitzpatrick, but Tua, if you take him third overall, I'm sorry, fourth
Is
overall.
Tua is Tua really going to be coming out? I still don't think his best interest is to come out and with
From
with
everything
his injury.
from everything I've been hearing, yes, I've been hearing that he is coming out because he will be ready by the draft.
So
Like
there
he's
you
ready,
go. Here's the Cowboys' mediocrity. They pull within 10 at the beginning of the
and then they
fourth
kick the
quarter,
ball out of
and
bounds
then
on
they
the kick.
kick the ball out of bounds and give them the ball at the 40 so that they can kick at least 3 points and make this.
Mayhar is going to be fired after this game or at the end of the season. He is horrible.
Oh, my God.
At the two.
Oh.
Anyways, Buffalo Bills at 26. Kavlon Chisson is an edge rusher out of LSU, but he is more of a hybrid inside linebacker edge rusher that can play both. And the reason why I picked him here is because the Bills love that versatility on their defense. They have DBs that can play two or three positions. They have freaking linebackers that can play edge rusher, inside linebacker. Tremaine Edmonds has even been put into a defensive tackle position already this year. So Chisson from Edge LSU is one of those guys that can get after the cornerback, but it's from anywhere in the field. You put him even at the safety spot, he'll probably get there. And then the biggie, 27 Green Bay Packers. I couldn't believe this guy fell on my list. This inside linebacker would change our defense. And I'm talking about, I don't care who's our defensive coordinator, it would be one of those inside linebackers that just dominates. Kenneth Murray out of Oklahoma. The guy is built like he's 6'3", he's 240 pounds. This guy runs like he's an edge rusher getting after the quarterback, but man, he covers. He is a missile from sideline to sideline. Anything that crosses that threshold, the line of scrimmage, Jay, he dominates. I'm telling you right now, the need for offense is going to push defensive players down the board. Kenneth Murray's one of them. So Packers fans, go ahead and look. Whew. I'm telling you right now, Kenneth Murray's a beast. If you want to go look him up, go look him up. And then on top of that, moving on to number 28. Obviously, we feel Teddy Bridgewater, he's a free agent at the end of the year. And I feel he will move on to another team that needs a starting QB. He went 5-0 with Drew Brees out. He ran a Saints offense.
I wanna jump in on that because this is before you even tell him to pick. This is a classic case of screwing the dog. What New Orleans did. They allowed their court. Now, had they done this correctly, they would be going into a smooth transition from a future Hall of Fame quarterback to their future. But what they did is they allowed their selfish, arrogant jackass of a quarterback to come in and fuck their franchise just in the future. Because what they allowed him to do is come back 2 or 3 weeks early and look just he didn't even look as good as Teddy did. And I said it right away. If I'm Teddy Bridgewater watching that shit and then having to sit there and watch that tape, watching Drew Brees throw balls that I could have completed with my left hand, I'm out. I'm done. Like, you guys get, because they to get him to stay there, they gave him this song and dance that they were going to groom him and he was their future. Well, you don't treat your future like that when he has got your team winning. Okay? And and so really, in this scenario, what was best for Drew Brees, because let's be real, it was just like last week before he started looking like himself. That was right around the 10-week mark.
Yeah.
And he didn't win every game when he came back. So this idea that, oh, well, he came back and he didn't know. So they really messed this one up for themselves. And all it did was give Teddy, he's got 5. See, and it screwed them in more than one way because Teddy didn't lose. So now he's got the Jimmy Garoppolo effect. This is what happened with New England and Jimmy Garoppolo, except for Garoppolo was still under contract next year. These guys aren't going to get crap for him. He's going to walk, and they're not going to have a franchise quarterback to transition to. And honestly, I think this move is one that it's going to curse him. Like the Saints, when he retires at this point, I feel like they're going to go right back into the toilet because they will not have a quarterback. And it's because of the way they screwed up this entire situation.
Are you ready for my pick?
To Drew Brees. Yes.
Jalen Hurts from Oklahoma, QB.
See, and that's going to screw there because he's not a quarterback. He's not. He's nowhere near the other two guys. No, he's not. Dude, watch his tape. He's got terrible mechanics. He does not fit into windows. He does not, like, even in college, he's not even an upper echelon college quarterback. You draft him in any of the first 3 rounds, you're wasting your draft pick on him. He's too far away to play in the NFL. He's too far. He's killing it in Oklahoma with a great scheme where windows are wide open. There is no point in Jalen Hurts' career where he consistently he makes less tight window throws than I bitch about Cam Newton make.
Can I tell you his stats real quick?
I don't care about his stats. I'm talking about what he's transitioning to be a first-round pick for the Saints and be a franchise quarterback. They'll send them in the tank.
The guy's won multiple national championships.
It doesn't matter what he's won. Okay.
It does. It shows he can win as a quarterback.
No, what it shows you is he was on really damn good Alabama teams where they could. You know how many times I watched him throw interceptions and the defense would stop him, and yes, he would come back and win the game. And those we are again
that
now we're into evaluating a quarterback now as a draft. Sorry, Dave. I don't care about his stats anymore. I don't care what he won in college. I don't care that he has national championship rings on. So did Tim Tebow. Tim Tebow won, and he couldn't throw the goddamn ball.
Was a glorified fullback. That's what he was.
He couldn't throw the ball. And this guy is, yes, he's more accurate. But when I'm talking about transitioning him in and being a first-round quarterback.
Hurts is so much better than Tebow.
Yes, he is. But he's not Lamar Jackson either. He's nowhere close.
I'm not saying he's Lamar.
Yeah, and Lamar went 32, and people said he was running back. This kid doesn't. No, sorry, he is a bust if you draft him in the first 3 rounds. Just period. He's a good kid.
I respect your opinion.
He's not an NFL quarterback.
I respect your opinion, Jay, but I'm still going to pick him for the Saints. 3,300 yards, 31 touchdowns, 6 interceptions, and against top 25 teams this year, his passer rating is 162.5.
In college, where the hash marks are 3 times wider and you get open wide fields that you're not going to get in the NFL because
of the field he's given every game.
Because we're talking about Dave, we're talking about not his college career. Now we're talking about him playing in the NFL, in the big boy league, the professionals. Okay, so we need to stop this. Like I'm being mean to him because I'm not giving. Look,
I'm not. I just disagree.
It's great what he did in college, but what you do in college does not necessarily mean you're going to be great. There's all kinds of examples of it. Watch his tape, watch his actual quarterback mechanics, then you're lying to yourself then, Dave.
I'm not lying to
damn
myself.
Well he does not have the skills to make it in the NFL as a top drafted quarterback. It's not there. His
But you
arm
just said
talent,
you haven't delved into the tape, so how would you know?
Because I've watched a ton of Alabama games over the last 3-4 years. Because they're always on my TV and they always play in prime time when I have time to watch college football. So yeah, I don't need to watch the kid's tape because I've watched him live over and over and over again. Impressive athlete.